Okay, so um, new uh, experience with OBS. Completely didn't realize that um, my last two sessions, probably a good hour's worth of stuff, was not really recording. It wasn't showing the right screen. Now we're good. So it's good for you because I get to recap it kind of quickly. Um, so this Ledger account, I'm going to get into this Ledger program. But the idea is that I want to leverage more of the new SvelteKit 1.0 routing and using kind of this layout data. What's kind of cool is that you can, from SvelteKit side of things, is that you can, from your app, from your routes, you can have all these child routes and dynamic routes and whatnot. But if you use something like this layout and the layout server and you fetch your data, then that data becomes available to all of your child routes and components and stuff like that. So seems like a really more efficient way of handling the data and swapping from one route to another. So I think I want to try to utilize that. And another thing I want to try to utilize is in the new SvelteKit stuff is for form validation and just submitting and working with forms data. You have what we have, they call it form actions, and really, really cool stuff. We'll get more into details with it, but I want to do shout out to Huntabyte. This guy, super, super great channel, does very technical, clearly knows what he's doing, and he's done some fantastic tutorials on introducing the new SvelteKit functionality. So props to him because he's showing some really cool things to do, and it seems like it could be a good pattern to follow and simplify my life. And then, of course, Skeleton UI toolkit, as I mentioned just in the last video, this has been really helpful. So I'm going to continue to explore that more. But yeah, one of the biggest changes really kind of with this is that SvelteKit has moved to 1.0, and Anchor has also had a big update to from 0.25 to now 0.26, and quite a bit of changes there. And yeah, so kind of redid and moved over some of my old programs and did updated everything as best as I could, and so far so good. So the idea with the Ledger account is, like I mentioned, I'm wanting to envision creating, creating some accounts for a ledger. Essentially, could represent like one of my kids, and so for them, like I will create a unique ledger account for them and store some data. And then obviously I want to be able to keep track of kind of just general transactions for them. Just simple debits and credits, like they got some birthday money or whatever I want to add to their account. And another idea is maybe using a custom SPL token to initialize, to use as the kind of the funny money, essentially, to transfer and credit and debit their account. So that's kind of the idea. It's if they had their own wallets and they were older and they were using like that sort of thing, then this would be a completely different design. But a simple kind of program that's practicing using Solana. So that's what we're going to do. So because I lost the video from the last time, it wasn't recording the correct screen or display, I'm going to kind of recap what I've done, starting with state. So I have a few programs that I'm going to be kind of pulling from that is really kind of added to this idea. And I think it's within reach because I've done a little bit of the stuff that I think is needed in my voting app as well as my escrow program. So I'm going to try to incorporate a little bit of both. One thing, though, that I do like about from my voting project, and I was following kind of a guide with that, is the structure. So you have voting and then SRC, and then they've kind of, we've added separate individual files for each instruction and made kind of modules out of them, or crates. I'm still learning Rust as well. And then state just represents like the static accounts, or just the account structures needed for the program. And then of course you have the library, it kind of brings it all together. So I liked that. I thought it was a nice way of organizing. So I have attempted to replicate that for this project. And again, standard, like this program originally is just really, really basic. The standard, the current ledger tracks a color and a balance, and it uses a PDA to do it. And that's about it. So we're going to make some big changes to that. But starting with state, let's see, starting with state, I have what I have called the actual ledger account, and then I've called it an entry account. Both of these are going to be PDAs, but they're going to be linked together. And I'm going to show you how that's done in just a minute. But the idea around the ledger is, again, it's going to be for, it's going to represent the kind of the bulk of the main account per person, essentially. So the wallet connects, and then the wallet will be able to create as many ledgers as they want. So let's do here. And so this is kind of code that I brought from the voting program. And specifically, this was like kind of a poll account. So over here, if we go over here and we create a poll, that was basically this. And then each poll has votes. So if I view the poll, this is bad, I'm not done with it, but you can vote. It's limited, 1 vote per wallet. But then you have a list of like all the votes, essentially, and their selections. I'm kind of, I'm thinking the poll would represent the ledger, and the votes essentially would be synonymous with the transactions. But back to the ledger, I didn't want to name the account transaction, just because I felt like I'm going to be talking a lot around like Solana transactions. So I think it would be kind of easy to get a little confused about which transactions are we talking about here. So I think for my own brain, I just figured I'll call it like an entry. It's an entry into the ledger. And so I may go back and change that later, but for now we'll run with it. So this account is going to be, and again, I used, this was very much kind of copied over from the voting, the poll struct. And so we have a struct called ledger, and this is kind of like, what are we going to store on it? So I think, obviously with accounts, they all have an 8 bytes of an account discriminator. And so that's just by default. And then an authority, I'm thinking this would be the authority, basically the wallet. So my attached wallet would be the authority for this particular ledger account, because I'm the parent, or whatever. And then one thing that's going to be similar to my escrow program is that I'm going to have a token account. So the idea is it's going to store a token account that's actually going to be an SPL associated token account that gets deposited or debited, whatever, from by each entry. The name, basically, I'm going to use this as like the name of like my kids, or whatever. And then entry count, I figured it may be worth like keeping track of like how many total entries. And then the bump, because this is a PDA. So right now I can't think of anything else that's needed to be added. I may obviously change that, but for right now, this is what we got. So here's all the spacing, and yeah. And then this was a handy pattern. I liked using Rust, like the implementation. Kind of, you can expand on it on a struct. And add constants, new variables, new field, and even some kind of helper functions, essentially, like tied directly to the struct. So this is a common pattern you'll see in Rust, is like they will use the IMPL, and then whenever you want to create a new, I guess maybe instance of the struct, or it's not really, basically whenever you want to kind of new one, this whole new public function new is the common kind of convention, and it will return self, which is a ledger. And here we go. So basically, every time what we do, everything is going to be passed into this function, and the return result will be a new ledger. And the only thing that is missing is I put this entry count, and I went ahead and set it to 0. So like this is like when we create a new one, we pass it the authority, we pass it the token account, name, the bump and all that, but this will be the default. So this is the state account for ledger. Haven't done anything for entry yet. And so now what's kind of neat though, before I move on to the instruction for like creating a ledger, is I want to share with you like kind of one of the big helpful projects that I did with the voting. I kind of copied and followed this Solana Twitter program, and this is by the Solana developers repo, and they have some workshops and lots of cool stuff actually. But this is kind of the first time I really learned how you can utilize Solana PDAs in a way to more or less replicate a kind of a common relational database, kind of tables, different sort of database tables linking with other tables by unique like primary keys or foreign keys and whatnot. But doing this all on chain, you can use PDAs essentially to make those sorts of connections. So for example, in my voting program, I've got for every poll, when you have a poll and then you have a vote, if I open up the vote.rs over here, you can see that right here. So for every vote that we create, which is also a PDA, I have this poll pub key, which this is the poll PDA. So back to the ledger example, create a ledger, and then imagine this is an entry struct, and this will have the ledger pub key, which will be the PDA that points to this ledger. So that's kind of how you connect multiple PDAs. I did a lot more of that with the voting program, between the profiles and polls and votes and whatnot. So pretty good practice, and really opened my eyes to like how this could work. So yeah, let's see. I don't think I have anything in entry. Yeah, nothing's there. So that'll be good. What I'm going to do first though, while I've got the basics of, so that's the account, the ledger account that I'm going with for now. I don't know if I need to add anything else just yet. What I do need to do though is the instruction, and we're going to looking for the create ledger. And so this was again kind of reusing some code and just modifying. This was my create poll essentially, and so I've already let me get rid of that. I've already gotten rid of a lot of the stuff so far, like originally, but to create a ledger, we're in Anchor territory now. These functions require an Anchor context, and this context, create ledger, it's basically every time we run this kind of function, this program method, it requires, you have to know up front, you have to pass it all the accounts that you're going to need in order to execute this method, this program function. And raw Solana, like you pass it an array of these account pub keys and such, but Anchor helps kind of clean it up a little bit with their context structs. And so here, the idea is like create ledger, and these are just old notes that I've kept around to kind of help me, so just ignore it. But here, for example, I'm referencing this Solana Twitter, but like this is kind of how I envision the accounts to be created. So like looking at these documentation where you have like some sort of each account has its own address on the blockchain. Well, so this ledger PDA would have its own account, and it's a hash. And what we're going to use as the to generate like a unique PDA, this unique address, we're going to have like a prefix of ledger, and let's see, then which I have string length prefix. Prefix, yeah, and then the authority, which will be the wallet, and then the name. So like it could be for, you know, I don't know, Mila and, you know, John. I don't know. So you know, each account will have the name will be unique in the sense, like I don't see a wallet trying to create two accounts with the exact same name. But maybe, you know, I think this will work for now. So yeah, so first as this struct, and I was just kind of getting into back to the program, like the function. The idea is like we have to pass it a context that's going to have all the accounts that we would need to execute. It's going to take a name, so you pass them like the child, like the name that you want to use. It's just a string, and then here we go. We create the new ledger, and so here we're, you know, declaring and initializing, and what we're doing is just using this helper, this ledger new method that we created. And again, it takes, looking down here, it takes the authority, token account, name, and bump. Well, authority, token account, name, and bump. And this is a handy thing that I just learned from Anchor. This asterisk, it's not borrowing. That would be the ampersand in front of things, like, you know, kind of borrowing a reference of some value. But this is actually getting more at the raw level. I gotta forget exactly how they refer to it, but this is a Rust syntax. But Anchor has this handy, like in this context of create ledgers, it has kind of a list of, you know, or access to all the bumps needed, and then you pass for potential PDAs that you're using within this context, and then you pass it an account name, and there you go. It's just basically like tries to help you find that bump value for the PDA. And that's that. And entry count will be default to 0. So that's essentially it. And then, so after we do this initial part and we create it, then we go back, access our context, and access the ledger account. And we use this set inner method, which is handy, and it takes a clone of what we just built up here, packages it all up nicely, and loads it into, stores it, and kind of like, I think it just kind of serializes it all and packs it up nicely inside the account data. So there we have all the nice on-chain account data. So that's that. So that's kind of in a nutshell, like where what I've done to this so far. Next, I need to this ledger, this context is not finished out. So yeah, so here one of the first things we do is Anchor allows us to this is very standard. You put these I guess you want to call them like macros, I think, that are Anchor specific, and allows you to, especially for like initialization and whatnot, very helpful methods that they have available, and that does a lot of validation for us. So I'm going to yeah, here's like another from this series. This is also really good, from Loris Leva. They have another kind of Solana Twitter program, several pages long. It's worth a read. Certainly learned a lot along the way. And here's their repo to kind of give you a sense of what they did. So, but yeah, Anchor has some really handy these macros are really helpful. So init, like whenever you're initializing a new account, and you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull up the poll. What? Yeah, so it's going to be an account, and we pass it this lifetime, or like this apostrophe. It's a Rust thing. It kind of how long this variable is supposed to be. I think it's like accessible stuff. I don't know. I'm just kind of copying some of this stuff. Don't know all the details. And thankfully Anchor kind of allows someone like me to kind of work through it without getting too deep to it. So, and then obviously the type of what sort of account struct are we dealing with, which is the ledger that we've already defined. Here, the space, I calculated that here, just adding up all the amount of data that will be required. So this is how Anchor will allocate that much space for this new account. And then the seeds, this is how we are going to derive, you know, what sort of seeds, how could we derive and find this address? Well, we're going to use the ledger seed prefix, which is here, it's just ledger, the authority, which is the wallet, and then the name, which is just whatever we pass up here to our function. Yeah. So that's that. One thing that we do need is that's the ledger. What other accounts will I need? I'm going to look up the escrow lib. This is laid out a little bit differently. I didn't break it up into separate files. I just did it all in one. And you can see that I did, you know, I've just manually added them like this. So trying to learn some better practices. But let's see. Authority. Bump. Feel. Yeah, so in my escrow program, derived debug, I have this token account, and this is where we're actually going to store like actual tokens to represent their like the money that's used. And no point in like using Sol. It's just kind of funny money. So I think SPL token would be perfect for it. So when initializing the escrow in my initialize struct, which is the context. See, and this is kind of why I wanted to break it up into multiple files, just because it gets a little clunky. But I have this initialize. This is really create escrow, initialize escrow, and it has this context. And for this one, we pass it some arguments, some other instruction data of just the amounts, like how much are we paying out and how much do we expect in, and then the rest, we handle and do some validation here. So signer, I guess, yeah, another account that we're going to need is the authority. This is going to be the payer, also the signer in terms of like with the wallet and stuff. And it does need to be mutable because we're going to be debiting. We're going to be kind of transferring some tokens from this authority account. So this, we need its public key. What else? Do in mint, out mint. That's from the escrow. I certainly do need a mint. I need a custom like SPL mint to use. And I'm trying to think of like where I'll do that. But let's see. Okay. So this, yeah. So we've initialized the ledger, initialize that. This is going to be the actual token account. So I'm going to just call it token account, and it's of type token account. Naturally, we are initializing it whenever we run this create ledger instruction. So we have the init keyword. The payer is not going to be the seller. Who's paying for this transaction? Who's going to pay for all this? Obviously, it's going to be the authority. The token mint. I see. Okay, so what is going to be the mint of this? Okay. We have to set the mint property of this token account. So I need an address. And the authority, so this is a question. I'm not sure. I got to see like what we're going to do with this. But moving forward, so what's going to be the authority of this token? Setting the authority property to be escrow PDA account address. Yeah, so this was this is a token account that's going to live inside of our ledger account. And you turn over the authority to the ledger PDA. So can I do that, will I have access to... Yeah, I'm trying to remember. So like I initialize the escrow here. That's a type escrow. And then I initialize this token account. And I'm able to set the escrow to be that authority. So that works. I thought for a second there I was thinking, wait a minute, can I do that because I'm initializing both of them? But yeah, both of them in this instruction, but it looks like I can. So it's going to be the ledger PDA, which this allows, what is it? Since I'm going to be when I say that, like my wallet will be the kind of the overall authority of the ledger PDA. And then inside the ledger, there's a token account, which is an actual associated token account with a like specific mint SPL token. But so this is not a PDA. This is an NATA. So there's a difference. But we're making the escrow. Yeah, this is my previous notes. Like we're making the ledger PDA account the authority. So guess the ledger PDA grants permission. Yes. For some reason, this account isn't getting initialized according to my tests. If SPL token account info address token, it doesn't. It somehow this net isn't working. Yep. Oh, this was earlier issue I was running into with the test validator. But basically, we're turning over the authority of this account to the PDA, the ledger PDA, which then allows us to do some pretty neat with a cross-program invocation or things like where basically we allow the ledger PDA kind of sign on certain transactions. And I did a bit of that in the escrow program. Yeah, kind of following the same logic for now. So what other things? I think that will work. Now, one of the things is like, what's this? What is this mint? You know, like, I don't have that. Let's restart. I don't have the out mint. Can I perform some check? It's an actual mint, like token address. Like this is a pub key. Yeah, I don't think I need to. Certainly needs to be as a token account. It needs to be associated with a specific mint, but I wasn't planning on storing the public key as a field, right? Like, wasn't planning on that. That's a good question. So I want to be like, this is the actual mint properties. So like when I do like a search for this, something like using the CLI, SPL token, account info, address flag, and then this ATA pub key, whatever this generates, like it's going to have a lot of data and properties. And one of the properties is the actual .mint, which is essentially it's the mint address of the token that's stored inside. So I need that. Just trying to think, where do I generate that? Because let me see what I did with my escrow. In the escrow, we pass it. We literally pass this like, okay, we have a mint. I guess this could be it, but it's not really. Yeah, I wasn't expecting or thinking that I needed to like save the mint as a field on the ledger. Doesn't seem, but I do need a mint. So it is. Well, let me see. Good old. I'm going to get rid of this and we're going to go to Solana Cookbook. Super handy resource. And interacting with tokens. Yeah. So this is from the front end, like using create mint to actually do that. How to mint tokens, burn tokens, manage, wrap, da 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 da. All right, I need to refresh my memory with this escrow program. How did I do this? This is, creating the associated token accounts for the seller. Obviously, we want to grab it. We want to make sure that the seller's token account mint property is the same as this. So this is my mint. Like, that's what I need to do. But I'm trying to remember. Initialize. Let's go back up. So my context has the in mint and out mint. Yeah, accounts, key, token, seller has. Token the seller wants. And then we perform a transfer. Creating a new context. And the context is a Pass in your accounts. Then you perform the instruction. From this ATA to that ATA, who's the authority on this? For this sort of transfer, this is the initialize. Obviously, it's the seller is the guy who's initializing it. So we need their account info, the amount. Yeah, that was that. That was that. I'm curious. Let me go. Look at this escrow web over here real quick. Basically, my question is like, do I need to save? Do I really need a field? Do I need to save something like an actual mint directly to the ledger when I already have the when really all I want is just an associated token account? I mean, one thought is that I don't one thought is like I don't actually store it, but instead like inside this so like inside my in here, you know, that's my question. Like, do I need to if I'm not storing it directly like the mint itself inside the ledger, which kind of doesn't make sense to me right now. Like, do I, do something like token, or yeah, token mint pub key? Do I something like that? So like whenever I create and I run this, then yeah, like I have like access to it, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out how would that be done, because I just need one. Let's see. Because I do need, like, a mint to work with. But I don't want to, like, for the escrow, we pass in the mint because there's always changing, right? It's always changing. Every escrow can be unique, you know, and a different pair of tokens all the time, potentially. So in my case, I don't really want to do that. I actually just want to hard code a mint. Which, interesting, you know, I'm trying to think. What other projects have I done this? I've created this. Let me take a look. So one of the ideas that I have is this NFTs mint. Let's do that, and then NFT sell.rs. Yeah, so here. This is minting. This is a function. We need token, associated token. This is obviously is coming from like a tutorial. Creating account for the actual mint. Yeah, so this is, I've done this. I mean, because creating an NFT is essentially, it is an SPL token, from what I recall. Is this the SPL token create account? No. Yeah, but it is using the system program, token program, accounts, token program. This is, okay, I think I'm maybe brushing up. So Lamport's size, token program owns the mint account, right? Yeah, decimals, 0 is a protocol for NFTs. This has been a while. This may have changed, but initializing mint account as a mint. Yeah, token initialize mint, create. Here's another instruction. So takes in a context, CPI, cross program invocation context, and we're using the token initialize mint. We're creating our new context. it's got our accounts. Here's the instruction. And the accounts that it needs. Yeah. Decimals on it. The mint authority. Freeze authority. Create an ATA for the parent wallet, which in my case is going to be, so this is kind of like I may need to handle this SPL token stuff a little, well, now, before thinking I can do all this ledger stuff, because if I'm really trying to, I'm going to leave that there, but like if I go, what is this? Oh, it's just an older. So my point is right here, this whole token account thing, pair the authority, token authority, we can, like the account authority, we're transferring it over to the ledger PDA. Like that's all I can do. Problem is though, is that we need to settle and sort out like what's going to be our SPL token. I need to have it. So I can, I need to have that mint. So then I can use it to pass here, perform transfers, that sort of thing. So that's something. It's my first like real think, and again, I've gone through creating associated token account. Yeah, and you can do all these things through the the CLI. Super handy, and I think I first learned like a brief little tutorial showing, kind of introducing some of the common used commands with the SPL token CLI, and they have like this, okay, create account, you have the token address, so it's like the mint itself, and then the wallet, and it uses CPI because it's using like the token and the associated token program and the system program, so there's a lot of like passing on and invoking other methods from things like that. So these are early questions, and I just love my notes. But yeah, creating that, we want the ATA program. We need that. Account info, which it's an account, but it also has like the program is stored in that account. And then here's the actual instruction of creating an associated token account. Who's paying for it? Yeah. How do we know which is the authority? Authority of what? The wallet that this ATA is getting added to. Yeah, it's the owner's wallet. It has authority. And then the actual mint, system program, token program, and rent. Yeah. Minting token to the token account. So this is actually like increasing the supply right here, because we're dealing with, this is an NFT example. So we only do like one, but yeah, instead, for any other general SPL, like you would, when you perform this token mint to instruction, when you have this instruction, you have to pass all the accounts needed. So that's what we're doing. This is using the Metaplex stuff, so this gets like metadata accounts and stuff. So this does a little bit different, and this probably has changed a little bit since I last worked on this. Yeah, master editions and stuff like that. So yeah. Is this all part of this whole mint? Yeah. Here's the anchor struct to handle all the accounts needed for the transaction. This mint. Yeah. So this is good. I need to go back through this. So one thing I'm thinking of is I'm curious if I were to, for now, this is a I'm gonna move this up here. This is my first like real to do. Yeah, so what this makes me think of is if I go to state, ledger, if I go to token account, I'm going to comment this out. I mean, one thing I could do, like, I need to create some sort of global SPL token mint, and then maybe I would just have it available where I just pass it as a default, like somehow. I gotta look into that. But the idea, what I'm thinking is, while that's that, if I go back here and I gotta figure that out. But my thinking is, besides that, if I initialize the ledger account, the authority, the system program, bump, entry count, all that stuff is going to be taken care of, and I'm passing the name up here. I feel like that should I feel like we're getting like enough. So my idea is like I'm curious if I could maybe just try building and compiling this up at this point. Where am I at? Oh boy, getting a little tired. Getting a little tired. I did a lot of this and then realized that a lot of like the state and kind of first starting out the project, and then realized that I messed up the video, and now I'm doing this, and my brain's just getting fatigued. So, a ledger lib. Yeah, we have a lot of that. I wonder. Could I do? I mean, I'm completely like changing this program up, and I don't care so much on this one, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. What am I missing? Oh. I don't think that matters. Hmm. Yeah, this is handy. You can pass this instruction macro, and then I have a note here. It's like instruction color string. Well, that's the instruction from my old one right here. Besides the context, this is also instruction data and the argument essentially, and it's color and it's of type string. So this is pretty neat. This tells Anchor to expect color arg from instruction function call. So for the sake of this, for a second there I was complaining about not knowing what name is, but 36, this right here is basically saying, yep, you can expect an argument name type string to be passed when this function is called. So that should start to help. Now, how much are we getting? How many complaints are we getting from this one? Unused. Hang on. That's because, unused. What am I missing here? I didn't even use state. What am I missing? Why are you complaining? This returns a result. I see. Which I'm invoking this. Well, this right here, here's my result. It's either okay or error type of thing. So unused is like this one's not getting used. So it's my understanding. Semicolons. That was it. Look at that. Look at Rust just complain. Remove this semicolon. Rust C. Remove this semicolon to return this value. Yeah, that's my JavaScript side of things. So we're just invoking this method. Yeah, something about like the semicolon, like if I did this okay right here and say like it doesn't get to this. So, but because I'm yeah, I forget. I've took some notes on when I was learning exactly, but yeah, we're working our way. So that's the most basic program. Yeah. And I feel like create ledger. I mean, here we are. We're invoking it on this line. Yeah. I wonder if I did some testing on this. No. You could do some kind of sanity tests, and I feel like I did that. Where was I? Sanity. Yeah. Like, where is this one at? This is the entry point. This is like early days of like learning about this stuff. And this is like my library, my librs file. Yeah, and you could do some basic like assert equal, like that my ledger try from. I don't know. There's things like that. So I'm not gonna worry about that just yet. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can build. You can put in the flag, the P flag for the actual program, and I'm gonna call this. See if I can build the anchor build ledger. See what happens, because I've completely redone it. This is Vite running. Okay. Well, the build worked. So now let's see if I can do anchor deploy ledger. Hey, not bad. Just want to double check that. Yeah, this 9MCW. Yeah, that didn't change. Okay, that's encouraging. Yeah, so for giggles, let's do test ledger. Now this is all from my original version of all this. So everything's changed. Generate a key pair. What was this for? Oh, this is airdropping a test wallet. Creating a ledger account. Yeah, look at all this stuff. It's not an actual test. Here's the test. Oh man. It's a lot. Well, let's see if there's anything I can do to like try PDA, create a ledger account. Yeah. This is all changed. All of it's changed. Like everything. Curious though. Like, could I do something like Let's see. Okay. Like, that's that. Now, could we create ledger? What are we going to pass? We're going to pass in the oh, I need a name. Do I need to give it the PDA? Forgot. So key pair. Okay. I'm gonna move that down in here too. Just, yeah. So I don't get it too mixed up for now. So the idea is here, we'll use this derived PDA. I don't think I've got anything else. Program, ledger. Yeah. Not really gonna use this stuff just yet. All right. So remember, we're getting, this is deprecated. Use find the program sync. Right, okay. Tell me it's deprecated, so I'll start changing that. But we need to provide the seeds. So in this case, we're gonna have pub key. Pub key is going to be okay. It's not going to be color. It's going to be name. Pub key and the prefix. So it's going to look like something like buffer from. This is just hard coding it for now. Pub key, which will be, let's do not pub key, but authority. Keep it consistent with what I'm doing. So authority. And get rid of this one. And then last but not least, the buffer from, and it's going to be name. Yeah. And then that. And what this will do is return a public key for us to use. Great. Now, what did we do? Then we had this handy async create ledger. Feel like What do I need? Have the authority, which will be, yeah, the name. And what was I passing? Passing that. Curious. Let's bring it all into this. Let's do ledger lib. I'm gonna put it over here, but I'm looking at. Yeah, I was only passing context and color. Huh. Gotta pass in. Okay, so yeah, the wallet, which was the wallet. I gotcha. Seeds we have. And the bump. Okay. Do we have bump? We don't worry about the bump. Okay. All right. So really, just that. Yeah. Can't think of like. And then here we are. Thanks to Anchor, we have our program. We have the methods. We call it create ledger. We don't have a color argument. Instead, we have name, the accounts, the ledger account. Okay. Ledger account. Well, I do need that. Hang on. Yeah, it needs the actual derived PDA. Okay. I think I get it. So, authority name, and we'll call this PDA, yeah. And what we'll have yeah. It's a little bit different. And Anchor does take care of like the payer. So I don't need that. The signer is going to be authority. Yeah, right. Right. Hang on. We need a key pair. What did I do in this? What did... This returns the key pair. Yeah, so we're creating a ledger account located at this derived PDA address. That I understand. Wallet pub key. Takes an actual key pair. So this is not a public key, but instead it's an actual key pair, which key pair has not only just the public key address, but it also has the private key, which allows you to sign transactions. So this is this is our wallet. I was just missing that signer. Yeah, ledger account. Not ledger account. Yeah, previously I had called this ledger account, but here I'm actually just calling it ledger. So like if we go and look at create ledger, oops, I didn't call it ledger underscore account, I just called it ledger. So hence the complaint. I get it. Okay. Signer authority. Now this works because it's a key pair. It has the private keys to sign the transaction and all that stuff. What other accounts do I need? I've got the name, the ledger. I'm not doing the token account right now. I'm just trying to see if I can get this to work without modify. I just simply want to don't know if this is going to work. Clearly, we have to this is all modify. Yeah, let's see. So in fact, I'm going to get rid of all this now. So I'm simply just trying to run this thing. It's going to be where's this wallet at? Oh, they passed it. This modify. I see. Yeah, hang on. I feel like I need to do like actually. All right, name. Let's just come up with something. Alice. What am I? Oh. For consistency's sake, I'm going to move this. And that's that. You can do some pretty neat stuff with like anchor.idl accounts. What is it? And then it would be ledger. And then quote. And what's the, it's going to be type ledger. Like that's how you type in and leverage, you know, the generated IDL that Anchor does. So it's super handy. I use this on the front end. You've seen this kind of in the past for my other accounts. Like I'll create models out of it. So if I just for a quick peek, say voting or lib models, and then voting, and then index. Here we have some various ones, and using this kind of approach because you can get the types and stuff from Anchor. And so yeah, Nice to know. So that was a little bit of a detour, but try to retrieve PDA account. Oh, for, I see. Boy, oh boy. All right, let's just call that name. Alice. Name. Count, fetch that. Yeah. Fetch, count already exists, error. Short PDA, creating account, create ledger account. Obviously we've modified it. We've got the authority, name, and PDA. A little bit different. Then it updates the data. Great. The success. Authority. Name, and the data will be name. And there is no balance. I guess I could do entry count, and what will this look like? The typing is always something to be entry count. See how right here is this? Yeah, authority, name, Bob. Okay, so if I do data dot entry count, there you go. Yeah. Now, I have no idea if this will work. I'm tired. And I'm getting a big ol' error somewhere. Really? Where the heck? Oh, okay. Okay, let's see. Now, this is going to be a little bit different. I'm not running any assertions or anything like that. And if I do Solana Program show programs, I should have my programs, specifically this one right here, this 9MCW, that's my updated deal. So I've built it and deployed it, and we just worked on some basic tests. So if I do anchor run, and I believe I've got a test ledger. And fail. Count. Checking if this exists for color. Obviously that's my log. I need to change that, but that's just some text. Does not creating account ledger unknown signer. Unknown signer. Now let me see. Okay. Yeah. Unknown signer. CGBM. Provider program. Yeah, I'm passing a key pair, a string, and the PDA, which we get from here. Yeah, the accounts and the methods. So ledger, center. That's really it. I have some old text in there from my poll program, but yeah. Anyway, I need to rest. But this is kind of, it's a start. I'll try to get this just to initialize, not spend too much time on it, because really, the bigger thing that I need to sort out is how am I going to handle my kind of hard-coded mint for the token account that I plan on adding to the ledger. I could copy my escrow approach where I just pass in and store the mint in the the public key of that also in the ledger, but that seems not probably the right approach. So I'll have to look into that a little bit more. But yeah, anyway, I'm excited. It's obviously going to hit on a bunch of different aspects of, from Anchor, the Anchor stuff, to testing it with TypeScript, and then once that's all good to go, bringing it all over onto the front end, and so lots of stuff to work on, but to be continued. Okay, I'm not really sure how to do this. I left off trying to do a test without it, but I really need to figure out this whole custom SPL token that I can reuse. The docs have for the token program, I've used this. That's some gaps in my understanding of how this works. So the SPL token from the front end, this library allows you to do all the creating a new token. You can do it with the CLI. And one idea that I have is maybe I create use the CLI to create a token and save it in like a local file, a JSON file, like on my computer. So then I can kind of read and get that public key from that file and just use that as a reference, like throughout, kind of like a hard-coded reference throughout my program. I think that's certainly maybe an option for development purposes. But the library also, I've done this with the escrow, like creating mint, getting the mint, creating associated token accounts. Like this is all stuff that I've done with the escrow. One of the things though that I do with the escrow program, which is something to follow really, is creating this kind of a PDA, and then inside the PDA, which is this ledger account, creating a legit associated token account. And now how I do that in my test, well, first, like in the program, you have like all this stuff, like right here, this escrowed out token account. Like this is an actual token account. Yeah. But what I do is I have this variable called out mint. It's like the out token mint. It's the mint, and it's an account, and it's just another account that's passed into this context. And that works because then when I use the actual function here, I'll close this off. When I use this function, I grab the escrow from the context, make it mutable, so then we can like update its values. And in particular, this one right here, the actual escrowed, this field, which would be the equivalent of my ledger dot token account equals context accounts, ledger token account dot key or something, like so this is how it's being used and set. So in this case, for the escrow program, I'm actually passing this token account as part of the context, which I then use to do like some transfers and stuff. So yeah. Yeah. So that's how I'm doing it with the escrow, and how the test. This, for my testing, they're actual key pairs, just random key pairs that are storing, and I have a little note. This is just saving the public key since the program creates the actual account. So, so we have to pass it like a public key to use. And then so like that works. And like here is, going through from the front end using this library, I can do these commands like creating mint, creating associated token accounts, minting supply, that sort of thing, all from the front end. So I feel like that's kind of the way to go. So like, how do I envision this? I guess like user connects, like a parent, like myself, I connect my wallet and I want to create some ledgers. And here, each ledger for my kids. So then, I pass in like a name, but I want to reuse like kind of a globally available SPL token. So I'm thinking like when you hit create ledger, it's running that. But behind the scenes, back in my program, yeah, we have like so, you know, one idea is that I have I replicate. I do kind of the same, you know, where in my down in my program, I create something similar to my escrow out mint, you know, but this is just a token mint, which it is a mint account. And then we use it down here when we are initializing this token account, this associated token account. We pass this token mint, and then it does it for us. I'm thinking that could work. And you need like the token program and stuff to do this. It's kind of my thought. So this function takes 3 arguments, but 4 arguments were supplied. Okay. I've been kind of going back and forth with this. So it's probably something in my state. Yeah. When I have my new, and we give it a token account, no such field. Yeah, because I gotta bring all this back into it. Function defined here. So yeah, I think this is what I'm going to try this. Now, this doesn't address like a single common SPL token. But I think I handle that actually from the front end anyway. I think I'm going to use this kind of like create mint. Like I said, maybe store it like in a key pair, like on a JSON file or something locally, or just use this, you know, create my mint right here and do all this details and store it like in a constant. So then when I run this from the front end, like in my test, I should be able to, you know, have a token, like have a mint that I can use to initialize the ledger. So that's what I'm going to try. All right, so yeah, we got this see if I can get this to work. What's the way to do this? I think it'd be cool if the user could log in and the parent, like it would be kind of fun to use this as like a way to introduce like money management, you know, like 101, you know, where, you know, ideally if they had their own wallets, then you could do a little bit more, but like have it where, you know, at least from the parent, like, okay, you create like a ledger, like an account for the kid. Right now you mint like one particular token, and you use that to kind of like that holds something. But then, it'd be kind of neat if their account could hold different, like have multiple associated token accounts, so different types of tokens. One could be like, could kind of simulate like, like a stable coin, I guess. And then the other token account could be like, I don't know. Just thinking it'd be like kind of cool to give the kids, like, if they wanted to, to like encourage saving and like introducing like how does interest work and that sort of thing. Gets way more beyond my current capabilities, but I think that would be kind of a fun app, where the kids, like, they could, could show them like some options, like to transfer some of their token to, say, like a different account, like kind of like a staking account, where, if they put it away for a few weeks or a month, it accrues some interest, and if they, keep their spending or do a good job of just kind of like resisting the temptation to use their money, they get rewarded by, like interest, but also maybe even like NFTs or something like that. So yeah. But first things first, I got to figure out what's the best way to like user connects. We want to give them access to an SPL token. I'm almost wondering, I'd like to have like a shared token. I think that would be ideal, to where like my program is kind of like the authority, or at least my wallet is kind of like the main like mint authority, I guess, on a single token. But then like when a new user connects, they need to somehow get that token, which means we got to create an ATA for their wallet, and then like airdrop, or like click, like airdrop something like this, but it's instead of Sol, it's some custom SPL token, and yeah, gives them airdrop like 1,000. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it will get abused and used up, so maybe there's a way to like limit that or something like that. But like basically, when they connect, there's a token to use. Then when they create a ledger, that ledger creates an ATA inside of the ledger PDA. Just not sure how best to do it. Here's my test. So I think like provider program. wondering if, like, could you have access to provider.wallet? It's been a while since I used this test. And if I'm using a token too. Right? Yeah, see, seller, my escrow. What did I set seller to? Seller. Where did I set seller? Oh, geez, right here. Yeah. That was the wallet. So, const. Let me see. And this is how I'm using it. Okay. And then this takes the fee pair, but this is all public keys. So authority.public key. I don't know why my something messed up. The mint authority. The freeze authority. Hang on. Yeah, decimals. Let's do 9. I think the default is 9. According to here, const mint. Yeah. Await expressions. async. Okay, so just a matter of making this function. I wonder if this is, it's on the SPL token. I wonder if I got anchor SPL, no, web3 SPL. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, so signer, type public is missing the following properties. So hang on. The payer, actually. Payer. And yeah, so it's not the public key, but in fact the payer field. Now, one of the things like that I've discovered on the doing tests here with Anchor is that you can use some of these helpful like default helper built-in methods like create mint, like this one, but when I transfer it to the front end, not all of these are accessible. I end up having to do it more custom like this, where you're doing kind of this syntax. So just as a little note that I've experienced up to this point. So let's see. Token and I'm curious. So if that's my authority, I need a token. Let's see. These are like old helper ones. I've updated the seeds. This is a key pair, yeah, but part of me is like, I'm not sure if I wonder, can I wonder if I can, yeah, well, it's not going to be assignable to as a key pair. See, this, when you're dealing with Anchor adds that and Anchor adds signer. From what I recall. So like maybe modify this where I don't need that. But yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit different. Like this this working? That's running. Let's rerun our test. Let's get this booted back up. I feel like I need to probably use the provider wallet instead of just generating a key pair. I'd have to go back and look at my ledger program, the original generic one. Not really sure why I was generating key pairs. But I think the idea of being able to like simulate multiple wallets, creating their own unique ledgers, which I certainly want to happen. So let's see. Now if I do anchor run test. Oh, one thing I did learn too, node version. Yeah, so when running anchor run test command, for various reasons or whatever specific reasons, you need to run on node 16. I do have MVM. I think it's the list. Yeah, I think I've got like the latest node is like version 18. So you had to make sure that at this level, anchor run command is using node 16, or you're going to encounter some errors. So this is running tests like on all of them. And this is my escrow tests, and these are all working. But this is the voting program. And then last, ooh, it worked. Okay. Ledger. That's cool. I mean, there's actually really no test that I'm doing at this point. If you look at like here, oh no, is it? Yeah, ledger. I'm setting it up, and I run. Well, actually, no. I did run a test, IT. Yeah. Let me see my logs again. What did I call this? An example of PDA. Yeah, this is old. Okay, so creating account, success. Our PDA has a ledger account with data blue, balance 0. We're going to add 1. Now we have 1. Okay. Feel so like this is gonna run like this create mint. So we're creating like a new mint every single time, which technically want to do that. I want to reuse like a hard-coded mint SPL token. So I want to kind of like do this once, essentially, and store it. Store it. But for now, let me see. And change this up. Gonna do something similar to like initialize escrow. It's very similar. Certain things are a little different. I'm not using, so far, I haven't implemented something like a custom program or like a higher level account. But yeah. Yeah, this is me using like this custom, and I don't think I really need to. I kind of want to I mean, this is the exact same thing. I'm not really sure. Yeah. And same with this. This is like, I don't know if I need to build a custom helper. When I can just do it. But let's see. Here's, yeah, I may have to copy a little bit of what I did with the escrows, creating multiple escrows. So I'm gonna feel like this escrows is something I can, kind of copy and use as helpful. Because that's, yeah. So let's see. I really do think I'm gonna get rid of like just all this old, all these old helpers, like generate key pair. I mean, it's creating the key pair like for an extra wallet, and then doing an airdrop and all that stuff. I just don't think I think I'm gonna clean this up. Same with here's some helpers that it did. Yeah. So, in an effort to have a little bit of consistency, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of this helper. I'm gonna get rid of all these. Like, yeah. Apologies for my loud ass kids, but in the background. But that's it's pretty unavoidable at this point. Yeah, I don't think I really need this helper because I'm gonna be basically calling directly program methods. So I think we're going to simplify my life and kind of keep some things consistent. So token's going to be the same. I could do let say like ledger 1 using the that's handy, and then ledger PDA. And so so the authority here, I may need, you know, eventually maybe so that'll work. Give me a few different ledgers to create. Guess I could like also create a variable. I don't know, Mario. I pick it up. Copilot picks up Luigi. Gotta love it. And let's do a ledger 3 name equals Peach. Nice. Too fun. Too fun. So, let's see. Create ledger 1. And we don't need the name. And we don't need this. And we don't need that. And we don't need that. We do need to derive the PDA. So we'll use the find but in this case, I had it earlier, and then I got rid of it. But it'll be buffer from, what do we do? First thing is ledger. Oh, actually, that could be and let's set some like the token mint, right? Like that's also something that's going to be a constant eventually. But remember the seeds based off of our state, we do that plus the authority.public-key.asRef. Oh wait, how do we do the seeds? Guess it could just be buffer from. I think that works. And then what else? The last but not least is the name, right? So buffer from, and then ledger one name. Then program ID. It's the correct program. Yeah. I wonder. I do need the bump. Short key. Let's see. I think I can do anchor web 3. And what is this? Overload matches. String. Probably some. Yeah. This is what's going on. Seller pub key to buffer. Okay. To buffer. I think we're getting a little bit better. You know what? I'm gonna give myself a little bit more real estate so I can have this a little bit easier to see. So between these two, so we're not running out of room. Yeah, const this. I could do something. Yeah, so then update my something like that. The bump is important. What does this say? Name, yeah. We're just gonna get rid of this stuff. Yeah, and then I'm not even doing just I've worked on the escrow program more recently than I have this ledger program, and I don't know, kind of familiar with formatting my test this way a little bit. So I think I'm gonna just kind of getting myself into familiar territory again. This is okay. I don't mind if that's the case. Now, using data here, I never really did that sort of check. Yeah, so I think I'm going to, like, what else? Yeah, we're going to just toss this. We're going to toss this stuff. And then, well, what would come next? Essentially, we have all the, so const tx equals await program.methods. Tab over, and we got create ledger. And what does it need? Well, it needs quite a bit of accounts, but in terms of instruction arguments, just the name field. So that's easy. Ledger one name. Yeah, and then here's where we do the accounts. And yeah, quite a few. So we're going to have the authority. But these are all public keys. So you can see, like, address, something address. These are all the public keys. So I need the token mint, authority, token account, token program. There's quite a lot that Anchor throws for you as signers and stuff. So let's see, like, you know what? Let me see. This is my ledger. And like these accounts are all defined here in my context. If I did this correctly, and there may be some accounts that I'm missing to actually do all this, but yeah, they're all right here. So yeah. So we need the token mint public key. So let's see. Oh. And this is, I get this. This is it's because my token mint is already a public key. So I think what I'm going to do is just bring this one over. The where are we at? Ledger RS. No. Yeah. that's gonna work. That's what I'm missing. I need the ATA. So that's something I need to do. Now I wonder if I, what other accounts? I'll get to that in a second. What other ones am I missing? I need the token program, which is going to be like some token program ID, something like that. Rent. It's like some public key and then system program, something like that. Should look more or less like that. Now I'm going to open up my escrow again for reference. Sysvar, yeah. So I probably could just like import these. Might as well. So let's do that. That's not correct. Create mint. Yeah, it's going to be very similar. So create associated token account. Get or create. I remember that one. Mint to checked. Remember that one. And then let's go back to the beginning. Token program ID. Now I don't know if it's the token 22. I don't know yet. I'm gonna just go with the original one. Remember trying the new one previously, and that was a mistake. So, what else from? Let's see. Program from that. Can I just do? Just trying to cut back on some of these imports. Then what else do I need from Web3? I don't know if I need because my anchor, it's a little wordy, but I already have it. So let's do here. What did I do? Like I created the ATAs before doing the test. So guess I'd have to create these token accounts. Pair. The mint that we're going to use. And the owner. But it's really my escrowed out token. Yeah, so this was, okay, I see. Yeah, because if I am going to store a token account in the ledger, an associated token account, then it needs a public key. And from the testing side here, to generate a public key is we can just do the simple key pair generate. Yeah. So, ledger one token count is going to be something like that. So essentially you have, this is, yeah. I mean, we're gonna create multiple accounts. So this is, again, this is just need the public key. I don't need to take a note on that, but that's, we're getting the public key, but then inside elsewhere. So creating ledger. I wonder here, this is a handy by Mocha. You have this before hook, and this hook will execute whatever you tell it to. Before it runs all of the actual tests. So here it's like airdropping, making sure that the wallet has tokens and etc. So I mean, it was handy. Might as well just use this. Minting supply. I don't think I need to do all that. Mint to check. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I did in the before hook that I don't actually need. But it is a handy hook. So for now, let's do it. So rather than provider connection and request, we don't need that. We actually need the authority. Pub key, yeah. Anchor. Just make sure that the wallet has some tokens. I know this works, so I didn't realize that I did the create mint for escrow. Did that here. Don't know if I need to move that into the before hook because I've already created it. So, but what I do need is certainly need to these token accounts. Yeah. You know, and I don't even know. I wonder, besides just double checking that I've got some money, could I just not my question is essentially like that's coming through my mind is so I think I'll do it all in here because I imagine a user oh, it's dead, but where was I? Cookbook. I imagine, you know, they connect a wallet and then they hit click create ledger. Let's just do it right here and there inside. So I don't need to, but I could just do so you can see like create over here in the cookbook. Mint token set authority approve. Oh, here, create a token account. This is the built-in. But you can also do it like this. So, you know, or you put it in a new transaction and create associated token account instruction and do all that. Thankfully, the built-in kind of simplifies it a little bit, but again, sometimes on the front end, you can't use these built-ins quite the same way from what I've experienced. So, and then we need the connection, which comes from Anchor provider. The pair, in this case, is going to be the authority. Because what it's asking for is the payer of the transaction initialization fees. The payer is, we can see it's a type signer, which is what our wallet here in this Anchor environment gives it. So it's not just a public key. Then the mint that we're using, so it's our token mint. And this is already a public key, yeah, so I don't need anything else there. And then last, whose wallet do we want to, like, where do we want to put this? Well, we want to put this actually inside the ledger one. Oh, no. Is it the ledger one PDA? Where do I do that? Interesting. Escrowed out. Do I simply Yeah, hang on. Where do I create this associated token? This is a key pair. Yeah, this is not right. Hang on. I was thinking, you know, creating, doing this kind of associated token account. But this is a direct ATA inside a wallet, specifically the buyer's wallet right here. Forget I'm working with a PDA, so this is actually not necessary. But instead, the token, the token account. That's right. That's right. So here we're passing in the accounts to our method, right? It needs a public key. Well, it needs a location, like an address for this associated token account. Well, we actually haven't created the associated token account yet at this point, and we don't do that here like I was just about to, because that's actually going to get created inside of our program instructions. So let me ledger one token account public key, yeah, and that should help. Now after accounts, this is when we do signers. The signers on this is one thing that I was always, we have the wallet, so the payer, which is this authority. But one thing that I've noted in the past when doing these program methods, program methods, let's see, yeah, like this is this buyer in this case is not the provider wallet by Anchor, but here, this one right here. So like initialize escrow2 with the same wallet. So this is like a different test. I'm passing the location, the public key, but here you have a signer, and the signer is this actual ATA, and I wasn't exactly sure why why we have to pass the like the key pair essentially of the token account, but I think it has to do with the fact that inside of our program instruction we transfer kind of authority, I guess, ownership of this associated token account. We use the token program, which is the main like owner of all token accounts, but then we allow this token account has like the option, the owner of this token account, you can kind of transfer the authority or ownership, I guess, to essentially our PDA, so the ledger PDA. So yeah, so like the payer is the authority that we pass in, and right here we set inside of our program instruction, our function, we set the authority property of this token account to be our actual ledger. PDA. Yeah, so by making the ledger PDA account the authority, so it gets the ledger PDA grants. Yeah, there's something. This is kind of like how we're transferring the authority of this token account and basically giving the PDA, the ledger PDA, that authority. So I believe that's part of why we have to pass this key pair, this ATA key pair, as a signer. And it's also because we're creating this account per our instruction right here, this whole init token account, like we're actually creating it too. So anytime you create that, you need to pass in the keys, I guess, to be able to sign on that. Could be, that's not a guarantee to be 100% accurate, but that's something that I've kind of picked up. So back to this, using the ledger 1 token account, which is a key pair. I don't have to pass in like provider.wallet, which I've also assigned to authority up top. I don't have to do that. Anchor does that by default. And then we make the RPC call. And I guess I have skip. I think this skip pre-flight Boolean disable transaction verification step. I'll just leave it on, like, and then, yeah. So this is something that I'm familiar with, and this kind of flow. So after this goes through, there is certainly a little bit of a try catch involved here. And I certainly use that on the front end. But then, yeah, let's see, current, let's try as a const current ledger account. And then we can use Anchor's program count because it's an account and it's ledger. And then we use the fetch. And then we pass in the PDA of our of that. And then, I mean, I could. I don't know if I have to do. But assuming like that doesn't work, if that does work, well then I can set my global, which I've got ledger 1 equals current, something like that. And that is essentially it. Yeah. My escrow program's a little bit more involved, but yeah, I guess I could do a quick call const say like no connection, and then it's a get, it's not get balance, it's token account balance, and you pass in the token address. which is the ATA address. Yeah. Feel that should do it. One thing yeah. Be curious to see. Get rid of this. Console. Yeah, and then, like, okay, so we have some expects here. So, like, I'll grab a couple. So, current ledger account dot authority to string is equal to, like, double checking that the authority is right, is actually equal to the authority public key to string. So that should line up. I could also do like provider dot, but we'll keep it that way. Current is active. I don't think I have a. I could do current ledger account. That is active because we don't have that property, but name. That to equal ledger one name. Should work, right? Cannot find expect current ledger account. Making a typo somewhere. I made it up here. Find a C and delete it. There we go. Took me a second. So I want to check some strings because this one, authority, we're looking at the types, like authority is a public key, token account is a public key, name is string, entry count, and bump. Yeah. So we can check like all these things. So let's do one at a time. So like expect current account dot token account, which is a public key. So I need to do it to string or to base 58 to equal, and then, well, we already have it, ledger one token count dot public key to string. That should. Why are we getting complaints? Oh, expect. Huh. Why aren't we getting expect? Oh. Yeah. Okay. The name should be the name. Let's see, what else we got? entry count. Entry count, which is, oh yeah, type B in. So big number. So I can do like type B in has 2 number and 2 string methods. Jump back here. Yeah. So you can't just compare like type BN to type BN. So you have to do convert it first to a number, and the entry count, because it's a default, like not default, but like it's been initialized, and so here when we create a new ledger, right here, I have the default entry count set to 0. Yeah, so that's what we're checking here. So like this is our first time doing it. It should be equal to 0. Oops. And then last, what else we got? We got, oh, the bump. Okay. Current ledger count dot bump. Yeah. And that's also going to be a 2 equal, and guess what? Bump, which is a number that we get up here. Yeah. So that's a little bit more robust test, and kind of one of the things that, like one of the things that I remembered, or aha moments, was for a minute there I was thinking I needed to do the whole, await create associated token account type of thing. But when going through this, I realized, like, wait a minute, I need to, I don't need to actually do that here. I don't need to create the ATA outside because my program create ledger instruction, like this function, does it. Does it right here. And when it does, it takes our accounts that we pass in to this context, which are like the token mint itself, the ledger. It's going to initialize that. It's going to take all these accounts and it's going to initialize and validate and do all these things for us. So yeah, and when it creates this, initializes this token account, it's going to set the mint equal to the mint that we pass in, and it's going to set the, then it sets the authority property on this account to be the ledger itself. So that, in a nutshell, is kind of how it should work. Now, curious if I run anchor, run program, and then test ledger. I think I have that. Oh, anchor run. No, hang on. That's not right. Hang on. Let's see. Back in my package JSON. Oh, that looks bad. Let's see. Okay, I'm bugged out there for a second. Oh, not package JSON. I think it's an anchor. Yeah. So I have these scripts in Anchor. So test will run them all, but then, yeah, this is how I built it up. So let me try this again. I don't have to specify the program because I've already done it with the script. So let's see. Token mint done passing. Huh. Lordy. That's a lot of stuff printed out. Count. Clearly printing out like all kinds of crazy stuff. Guess what I could do? Hang on. Curious. Can I do it again? PDA has already been generated though for the ledger 1. May mess up. Huh? Well, didn't mess up. It's passing. Just don't remember printing out all this stuff. So let me. It's probably some old log. Oops. Okay, yeah. Jeez. I'm logging out like the entire ledger workspace program object. That would be a lot. Yeah, I feel like I want to see this again without all that. I don't like it. There's some stuff that's not getting. Some stuff that's not getting tested. I don't think this is actually working. Because I should have some logs. And I'm not seeing it. So hang on. If I go here, let me just shut down. Rebuild and deploy. Yeah, let's do it. Although I haven't like changed anything to, well, maybe I have. I don't know. Maybe I haven't. Maybe I have changed some stuff to my Solana logs. Get that running. I don't recall changing anything to my actual program. But let's see. So I could run test ledger. That should. Why am I not seeing? Yeah, I'm not like seeing like create ledger 1, you know, like notification. What's going on? This isn't running. Yeah, I'm not seeing like anything. I need to do anchor run tests, like all of them. Like this is like the default command. This is my escrowed stuff. This is the kind of my. This is the bare bones ledger. Poll, voting, and yeah, I don't recall seeing ledger. Yeah, I don't think. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's part of a intentional fail. Voting program. This is the original ledger, which I have as my, it's called this. It's just like a demo program that works. But yeah, I don't think I've got my just going through these logs. I don't see I don't see anything happening for my ledger program at all. So what could be happening? I mean, I should be able to see that though. Here's another massive object that I've printed out. Yeah. Let's see if I can search. I think this works. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm trying here is, here's my log, right? And just using kind of a vim command, got this whole log highlighted. And if I do shift colon, kind of locks in like, okay, what do I want for this visual block? And then I want to percent is like the whole thing, search like a string, and I type in the string, and I'm going to do ledger and that's, yeah. State undefined views. Oh, these are from the original, my original program, this starter. So the naming is, that's it. So, yeah, something about my test does not seem to be working as intended. I should still be on node 16. Meant to check is declared, yeah, but not using the ledger expect. I have this running as an async function. Maybe that was an accident. Let's see. Well, maybe it's not supposed to be async, but I do need this mint. So could essentially add it here. I think this could work. So before it can be async. You know what? And I think where should I do that? Where should I basically create this darn mint? I guess I could do let token mint, and it's going to be public key, yeah? it seems weird doing yeah. It doesn't complain though, but I need somewhere to be able to do this, to await this function. And I figure doing it inside the before hook, like I did previously, seems to probably be the right way. So yeah, we'll see. And then I feel like I've got everything else. Am I not registering my? No, I mean my tests were working earlier. Before this stuff. Yeah. All right. Let's go again. Make sure I'm on the right. They would have complained and thrown an error anyway. So, let's just do build ledger. Deploy success. Yeah. Okay. Noted. Yeah, check this out. It worked. And so something was up. I don't know if it was the accidental async of the describe, or if it was just a matter of I needed to target and rebuild and deploy. Even though I tried that, I don't know, sometimes it just does that. So here we go. Yeah, ledger. Getting some of the details. Mario, entry count, big number 0, bump. We got a bump value. Yeah, the token account balance. You know what? What do they call that? Following like the official docs, it may be better. Provider get token account balance. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much out there. Getting token, how to get a token accounts balance. Yeah. Here it is. All right, well. That could be one more thing that I actually validate, is that I mean, I've only created the token account, the associated token account. And here's the details on this token. So like this this token account. Here's like some info on it and the value amount 0 decimals. Like this is good stuff. So yeah. All right. So what is this solved? I still don't know how to have a hard-coded SPL token that I can use again and again. But yeah, I've cleaned up this test to something more familiar to me. I obviously want to be able to create and should be able to create multiple like I should be able to. Right now I'm going to put an X. This prevents them to run this one, but create ledger 2 with same wallet. I should be able to, should not have anything preventing me there. But yeah, it's gonna be ledger 1 and replace that with ledger 2. Oop. No, hang on. I'm missing something. Search ledger 1. Trailing. I know I can do like the asterisk. Yeah, like ledger 1. But I don't want it. I don't want to do that. I want it limited to this block. 3, 8. Highlight that, and then find oh, okay. I don't have to do the percent, which I think is actually the whole file. So maybe I was doing that incorrectly. Ledger 2. I mean, I have these. Variables. G is global, so if it's see if I get rid of the G. See how on line 23 we have like ledger 2 and then there's a ledger 1 right next to it, so you have to hit the G so it will go all the way to the end of the line. And I'm gonna try that. And then C is a confirm flag, but G just like does it all. It's a small little test, but yeah, ledger 2 name, which I have. Ledger prefix is the same, authority is the same. Later, I'll try this with a different wallet. But yeah, that should. I mean, I think that should work. Curious. So let's go back, shut it down. Let's just target the ledger program for now. And then deploy. Again, nothing's changed on my deal, but I find when dealing with like PDAs and deriving, if something's already been created and then you run it again, sometimes it causes some issues. So Solana logs, and let's see. That's right. Run test ledger. Get lucky. Now I should have 2 tests. Oh, pending. It's gonna stop, and that's because I put the X flag in front. Curious. Let's just run without restarting everything. Let's see. Yeah. It didn't like something. Create ledger 1 like errors out, and I think it's because I already have the PDA created. Oops. Yeah. So that is why. The logs are pretty helpful from time to time. So I like to run them. Yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah, the next account has got Luigi. You can see that. I could do a validation check that makes sure that like the amount is 0, but we're seeing it logged out. So I feel like pretty good with these 2. That works. But kind of like, and I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm just gonna get rid of all this crap. Yeah. So this is, I feel at this point, ignoring the single SPL token, I feel pretty good about the basics of this particular struct. This ledger account, I feel like it's working. Our context is working correctly. We're passing, I think these things are working. I'm gonna get rid of all this crap. That said, yeah, I think it's time to handle the entry, state, and instruction. So, but that is going to come after dinner or some other time. Happy New Year.